All right, guys, we are back for another Dokkan Battle video. So I wanted to talk about this Dokkan Now special that is coming. Now, I'm recording this a little bit beforehand. I'm probably going to put this video up in about 12 hours. And yeah, so I'll probably put this up at about 10 a.m. on the 3rd, right? So that should be when this up on my time. And then 12 hours from when this video goes up is when the Dokkan Now is actually going to start, right? So the Dokkan Now, 24 hours from now, we will have finished it, and we'll know the full details of what's in this. But let's just quickly go over this here. So the latest 9th anniversary info on top of some international version exclusive info. We will distribute 20 stones if we reach 20,000 concurrent viewers. Yep, bam, bam, bam. Tons of info on 9th anniversary, abilities and animations of the featured characters. So that'll, of course, be Blue, Gogeta, and Broly. We already, of course, do know that they are coming as part 1. Even if maybe there's changes or things adjusted. Maybe, I do think, like, what are the chances UI Goku and Cell Max comes during the anniversary? I would say it's a good chance if Dokkan, like, if they were handling the sync smartly. If they were handling this with their brains, UI Goku and Cell Max would be during this global anniversary. It would be jam-packed, and I mean, certainly I would think, have to maybe give a little bit more extra free tickets to potentially summon for some of these characters, as opposed to usual. But, you know, if Global was actually working towards an efficient sync, I think adding in Cell Max and UI Goku somehow within this anniversary would be a good idea. Because that's the thing is, you know, where Global is behind 2 LRs, and both LRs thematically could come into the anniversary, right? Like, it's not like it's just some random shit. And this is where, you know, this year, I mean, more so coming from a JP perspective, but the release schedule this year has been so perfect. Like, it, you know, like, they released Dokkan Fest Topo in April, buffed all of special pose, had Gotenks ready for Majin Buu, like, you know, Angel Super Saiyan 3 Goku's team. Now we get Dispo as a band unit with UI Goku helping up the superhero team, which, you know, has gotten lots of buffs, sure, but, you know, more so maybe like Reps Universe 7 or something like that. And then we're probably going to get Part 2 LR Jiren. So then it's like, you know, Topo, who is continuing the Super Bosses, like, theme of the year, and then, like, you know, boom, 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 boom. And all of a sudden, you know, we've got, like, all these different, like, teams splintered out. You know, Universe 11 characters are going to be good. Like, it seems like they're handling stuff well. Potentially, right? Like, maybe they have had this crystal clear plan for Global. I mean, maybe I'm being a little bit too optimistic with how they've handled it so far, sure. But, you know, maybe it's like, remember, Amatsu, during the 8th anniversary stream, said we have the releases planned out to the 10th anniversary. And, I mean, that was laughable last year with how, like, just, I feel like it just didn't seem like that was true. But this year, I 100% believe it. And, I mean, if they have this lined up perfectly, where, like, all these celebrations kind of, like, really, like, mold into each other well, and then, like, Global could, you know, kind of get the extra characters in a celebration that makes sense. I mean, that's good. Like, it's a good, potentially good planning. Or anniversary would be exactly the same, minus, like, maybe, like, one extra thing, and then it's like, well, where's UI Goku coming, right? So we'll see. Now, I made a couple of tweets here. So my official prediction for this is going to be the Super Easy 8. That's what I think. So right now, JP Dokkan is in a, whatchamacallit, JP Dokkan is in the Tanabata celebration, right? The Tanabata celebration, of course, is, you know, a huge, massive celebration. They do a Super Easy 8 every single celebration. Now, I could easily see a lot or some parts of Tanabata come into this global anniversary right now, right? Especially, I mean, look at it. Like, JP gets the Dokkan Fest LR UI Sign Goku, and Global tonight is getting STR UI Sign Goku, right? Like things do kind of, like, mesh well. I think, to me, the most likely Super Easy 8 is AGL Blue Kaioken Goku. I think there's 3 choices. I mean, they could go a little bit more left field for sure, but these seem to be the 3 likely options to me. I don't know which one is better between these two. Probably this guy. I feel like could help like more teams. I would not be surprised if they added maybe a bit of a restriction to him. Not necessarily the worst thing as long as they make him. I don't mind restrictions. A lot of people seem to be turned off very heavily by restrictions. I think for maybe like leaders of teams, it could be an issue. But like if they give this guy restriction to like Realm of Gods or something like that, but then he's like incredible for it, I don't think it's a problem. I care more about restrictions again for like Angel Super Saiyan 3 Goku. His restriction needing a Buu Saga ally on the rotation to me is far worse than what like Cell Max has, or you know what Super Easy Goku Black has, for example. Like those are fine. Angel Super Saiyan 3 Goku, I think, is like terrible. It's the worst part about that character by far, right? But I think that this guy could be the Super Easy. I think he could come to JP in 2 weeks, and he could come to Global like right now. Like, they're like, yeah, the Dokkan Now celebration, and he comes out, like tomorrow or this week or something like that. I think there's a very solid chance of that, right? That's my prediction with that. It could be LR Goku and Frieza. They did say that Super EZA was going to be Dokkan Fest exclusive characters and LR characters. We have not had a Super EZA for an LR yet. This was the very first summonable LR EZA. So it could be, make a lot of sense for it to be the very first summonable LR Super EZA as well. And they, of course, could be fantastic. I mean, they're definitely going to be a lot better, with like Team Universe 7's EZA around as well. And like, LR Tech UI Goku and stuff like that. So we could see with that. And then there is also this guy. I don't want this guy to Super EZA right now. I don't at all. We have STR UI Sign Goku, who is... I mean, he's solid. He could die a lot like Harudagon or something like that, but he's a solid character. But then we also have, Dokkan Fest LR UI Sign Goku, who is going to be like a must run. So it would be so stupid of them to then funnel in another UI Sign Goku right now. Save this guy for later. I would say this is bad scheduling, planning, and release schedule to Super Easy this guy, right? It's bad. And you could say, oh, well, like, he could transform and then link. Bro, like, come on, man. Like, don't do it. Don't do it. To be fair, they could update this. This is just a passive transformation. So, I mean, they could make it, like, awakens when HP's under 80% or something like that. They could, right? Like, that's pretty easy for them to do. But I would just rather they not do this right now. Save this guy for way down the road. So there's that. I was thinking maybe we could look at like some of the yeah, Goresh, of course. Goresh is always the joker here. Speaking of Goresh joking around, yeah. So he threw out this idea with UI Goku. A lot of people actually were replying to this that they weren't sure what this was, which does make a lot of. I mean, bro, this was 8 years ago, basically, right? This was the middle of. Well, I guess it's actually. No, it is exactly 7 years ago, because it would have been the middle of 2017 is when this stuff happened. So what this was the introduction of LR Super Saiyan 2 Gohan on Global Dokkan. This was the first summonable LR on JP. He was the third summonable LR on Global, if I'm not mistaken. I think Broly was first, then Majin Vegeta, and then they did in Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. Gohan at the time was the best unit in the game by far, for sure. And the only way you could summon for him, he was also on a banner with Zenny statues, and the Peppy Gal characters were released for the first time ever as well on the same banner. And you had to summon for Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. Use your stones on those banners. You would get tickets, and then you use those tickets to summon for UI Goku. So, do I think that they could do that? It's so funny. After Goresh said this, I was like, damn, dude. I could see it. I could see it. Like that. It would be, like, maybe they should also, again, allow that there is a second sort of like available, you can summon him with stones as well. The problem with Gohan is that you couldn't use stones to summon for him at all. I think that this would be okay if then there was also a stone banner. So it's like, like a lot of global players could get UI Goku for free just by summoning for Beast, Broly, Blue Gogeta, and Gamma 1 and 2 like they normally would have, but now they could potentially get UI Goku for free, right? Because, again, they got to get these characters in You know, I don't. I mean, I they got to get the characters in eventually, right? Like eventually everything's got to be on both versions at the same time. Now, Rick right here, Minato, let's see. So, international version exclusive info is sync stuff, possibly unrelated to the 9th anniversary, because an additional information on top of 9th anniversary announcements. But that also actually makes sense to take that with a grain of salt. Yeah, yeah. Like when we start theory crafting and it's like, oh, like, dude, like the puzzle pieces are fitting, it means that's not what Global Dokkan is going to do, right? Because it's like, oh, like obviously released Tanabata in June for Global. I mean, they released Tanabata in May before for Global Dokkan. But obviously, like right now they have Golden Week kind of synced. But they easily could have just did that this year. And then the Tanabata celebration was already released. But, you know, it made a ton of sense. So they're like, yeah, we're not doing that. But maybe they have a good plan. But Rick has been very good about kind of like sniffing out and predicting, you know, kind of like seeing from signs of like when, you know, like potential like updates could happen and maintenances and stuff like that. Like Rick was able to clue in where Rose was going to drop with kind of the ID number for the UI Goku Burst mode and stuff like that. Right, the event ID, I believe, for the UI Goku Burst mode. So what if there's a unification celebration running concurrently with the 9th anniversary until the end of August, since they're being very careful with the wording in a couple of these announcements. So any extra stuff would be part of that celebration. That could be very good. Yeah, yeah. And that's where Topo could come in, Salmax could come in, UI Goku could come in, right? They could, like, extra ticket banner and stuff like that. I think stuff like that would be good. Because, again, eventually, man, we gotta start like really catching this shit up, like, right, like they gotta, like, we're gonna get the game synced, everything's coming out on both versions at the same time, so a lot of these missing pieces, I mean, you know, just today, right, LR Team Universe 7 is now out on JP. That's another character that's not out on Global. All these characters up to right here are not out on Global, up to Cellmax right there. And then this Bardock is also not on Global. To be fair, everything else here is, though. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, it's just this, you know, top row right here up to Cellmax plus Bardock. I mean, I guess at the moment there is very few missing characters, huh? And then Topo, Catapesla, and then his sub-EZAs. But like Ginyu, Gotenks, they're already out. All the Golden Week stuff is. Yeah, there's not that many missing things. I mean, I guess there is also, of course, you know, the gigantic anniversary. All the anniversary stuff. But like that, we know that's exactly where that's coming right here, right? Anniversary, of course, starts with STR UI Goku and goes all the way to Evolution Blue Vegeta. So quite a large roster and pool of characters. And a lot of them very good. Many of these characters are still very elite, like right now, like barely have aged, you know. Broly and Lemo are very good. All 4 anniversary LRs are very good. You know, maybe there's minor flaws at points, all very good. SR UI Goku is very solid. Again, he can get cocked, but he's very solid. Blue Kaioken, Evolution Blue Vegeta are insane. UI Goku and Evolution Blue Vegeta, those two right there, obviously top 5 units in the game. So let me know what you guys think. What would you like to see show up? What would you like to see show up as the Global exclusive info? I don't think it's a good idea if Global gets something like new that isn't like a new Dokkan Fest or something like that. Like, I think, I mean, I guess if it was so JP, right? Like if we take a look at this right here, JP is going to have 2 banners left. JP should have 3 banners left before what I would presume is when the sync is going to happen. I think sometime around the 18th, JP is going to get Part 2 LR, presumably LR Jiren. I think probably around the 30th or 31st or 29th of July, JP is going to get a Dokkan Fest. Maybe that Dokkan Fest could show up right now for Global. I guess that's something they could do. And then there also would be a Peppy Gal banner. You know, like what, like right in here. But I mean, that's completely irrelevant. All right, like that literally doesn't matter at all. That Peppy Gal double rates banner, completely worthless and doesn't matter. So effectively, there's 2 major summonable banner characters coming before the sync. A Carnival LR and a Dokkan Fest exclusive. So we'll see. Maybe Global could get some of the stuff in. They got to start making moves, though, because, I mean, the sync, I mean, as far as I'm aware, is next month. So, we'll see what Global has in store. I'll be live, for the Dokkan Now. Hopefully, they're finally going to give global players good news. I am choosing to go into this optimistic that we're going to walk out of this satisfied. I mean, maybe positive info about the sync. I'm going to go into it optimistic. That's what I'm choosing to do.